What is up, everybody? Back with an album ranking here today, and it's going to be of Exciter. A little bit of background on them before I get into the ranking. They are from Canada, formed in Ottawa in 1979. Originally, they were going under the name Hellraiser, which is a pretty sick name too, but in 1980, they changed it to Exciter, of course, after the classic Judas Priest song From Stained Class. Originally, they had John Ricci on guitar, Alan Johnson on bass, and of course, Dan Beehler on vocals and drums. That's also just a really cool, unique thing about this band. Singing drummer in a speed metal band, so he's playing a million miles an hour and still singing, which is really cool. Always been a huge Beehler fan. Love his vocal style, just very unique and instantly recognizable. Does those high screeching, majestic yells, which I think are awesome. And his normal singing voice is really good as well. But Exciter got 10 albums I'm going to be talking about here today. They do technically have an 11th, but not going to include it because it's called New Testament from 2004, just a re-recording of old songs, so no reason to include that. But the band, as I said, originally a power trio, and then they started having a lot of lineup changes. They are, again, a trio right now, but for a while they had 4 members. I'll get into that as I talk about the albums. But yeah, just right off the bat here with my number 10, I'm going to go with The Dark Command from 1997. Not a huge fan of this album. It's not bad or anything, but it's the first one with Jacques Bellinger. It's pretty much a whole new band lineup, obviously. It's only got John Ricci on guitar as an original member, and then they have Rick Sharon on drums, who I must say is a really good drummer. A lot of the drums he did on the couple albums he was in the band with are fantastic, but you know, obviously most Exciter fans love Dan Beehler. They want him in the band, so this guy's kind of in an unfair situation. But I think the fans probably did accept him well enough, at least. But Jacques, his vocals, I'm not a huge fan of. To me, he's kind of being too operatic, too power metal-y with the music. It doesn't really fit too well to me. But some decent moments on this album. The best being the song "Assassins in Rage," I would say. And of course, the guitar work on the album from John Ricci is good. Just for me, it's got to be number 10. It's my least gone to album for Exciter to listen to. Number 9, I'm going to go with Blood of Tyrants from 2000. This one, again, has Jacques Bellinger on vocals. It's the second and final album to feature him. His vocals on this album are a little bit better. He's not being as operatic and power metal style for a lot of it, I feel, but overall, again, it's just an album that I don't listen to a ton. It's a little bit forgettable overall, but still some decent moments. Metal Crusaders, Martial Law, and Brutal Warning are my favorite moments on the album. Next up, at number 8, I'm going to go with Death Machine from 2010. It's their most recent album. It's probably their heaviest, the most extreme album. The album cover also kind of depicts that. It's just very dark. But overall, you know, it's a pretty decent album. I like the vocals from this guy, Kenny Winter, that they had on a couple of albums, better than the vocals from Jacques Bellinger. But Kenny, he's got kind of a raspy, gruff voice, similar to someone like Udo Dirkschneider, which I think fits the music pretty well on this album. As I said, very heavy, dark, aggressive. Dungeon Descendants, probably my favorite song on the album, but Razor in Your Back, really good. Skullbreaker and Power and Domination, some favorites from this album. The drumming, again, really good from Rick Sharon. Number 7, Thrash Speed Burn from 2008. This one, to me, is pretty easily their best album from the 21st century. It has their best song, which is Demon's Gate. Best song from the 21st century, I should say. But really cool song there, Demon's Gate, aggressive, got an amazing driving, fast riff, which is pretty much the signature of Exciter from John Ricci. Other songs besides that one, the title track's really cool. In Mortal Fear and Crucifixion are the other favorites for me on this album. Now, number 6, going back to the 80s here, 1988's self-titled album, later released under the name OTT or Over the Top. But this album here is kind of interesting, and it's a little annoying, too, to me, because this album, released in 88, it was their their 5th album, and you know, it was going to be Dan Beehler on vocals as usual to that point, but from what I read, the producers or the label or something was putting pressure on them to get a new singer. I don't know what they thought, that some guy was going to come in and be some Sebastian Bach majestic singer and get them a bunch of exposure. I don't know what the thinking was. I feel like that might have been it, but they originally did the vocals with Dan Beehler as usual, and then they scrapped that, got a new singer named Rob Malnati, who to me is not even close to being as good as Dan Beehler. And just kind of, it's a weird vibe on the album. His vocals don't fit super well, but overall, the music's really cool. They were starting to go in a little bit more of a commercial style, as many of the bands at that point were doing. But it's not like super Poison glammy or anything. It's more of like, it kind of reminds me of Dokken mixed with Obsession, which I think is a really cool sound. The guitarist, Brian McPhee, at this point is fantastic. I love a lot of his riffs and solos and his tone on this album. Just the thing with the vocals was kind of stupid to me. They should have left it with Dan Beehler doing the vocals. Nothing against Rob Malnati. I'm sure, you know, he did his best and all, but just overall not that great of vocals, which holds the album back a little bit. But overall, as I said, pretty decent music on it. Scream Bloody Murder is my favorite song on the album. I Want to Be King and Dying to Live are really good. So good solos, good riffs, great drumming from Dan because he's still there doing the drums. And he does do backing vocals on some of these, like Scream Bloody Murder. You can hear him at the chorus doing his signature screams and high screams, which are really cool. But overall, this is going to be my number 6 album. Number 5, Kill After Kill from 1992. So this, they broke up for a little bit after that 1988 album. Then they got back together, put this album out, and it's pretty much a return to the classic form. Really aggressive, fast, classic speed metal sound. And it's a super kind of underrated gem in their catalog. I feel like some people might not know about this album. Maybe if you're from back in the day and you were listening to Exciter in the 80s, you might have kind of fallen off with the band by this point. But, you know, for me, I wasn't around back then, so I have always listened to this album, always thought it was really good. And looking at the songs, Reign of Terror is just right up there as being one of the best Exciter songs of all time in my book. Great fast driving riff from John Ricci, and I should have said that. John was out of the band for the previous 2 albums to this, but he's back on this one, and he's killing it. And Dan, great to have him on vocals on this album. He's amazing as usual. No Life, No Future, and Smashing 'Em Down, other than Reign of Terror, are my favorite songs on this album. Number 4, this one, you know, the next 4 albums, I feel like any one of these could be number 1 for any of y'all, which is justifiable for sure. But my number 4 is going to be Violence and Force from 1984. It's their second album, was released on Megaforce Records. So Exciter was getting some traction here, getting some good attention, which they deserve for sure. They're an amazing band. But yeah, great classic sound. Those early Exciter albums, very distinct, recognizable sound. It's pretty much like a new wave of British heavy metal style, but a little bit faster. Evil Sinner, best song on the album for sure. It's probably a top 5 Exciter song ever. Scream in the Night's great. Pounding Metal are my favorites. Number 3, going to go with the original debut album, Heavy Metal Maniac from 1983. It's a classic. A lot of people will have it number 1, I know. But overall, I like the other 2 albums I'm going to talk about a little bit better. But Stand Up and Fight, amazing song. Love the riff. Love Dan's voice. Love his vocals on here. He puts together really great, catchy vocal melodies and just awesome stuff there. Under Attack, Rising of the Dead, Cry of the Banshee, World War III. All these songs are awesome. It's a great, classic, influential album at number 3 here. My number 2, this one was very hard to decide the top 2 because I love these albums so much. But Unveiling the Wicked from 86 is going to be my number 2. Awesome album. First one with Brian McPhee. So you lose John Ricci, who is, you know, like one of the primary songwriters, obviously, for the band. He's an amazing lead guitarist. You don't know what's going to happen with the band, but they put out one of their best albums, which is very impressive to me. Brian is an awesome guitarist. I love a lot of his riffs on this album. His tone is awesome. Break Down the Walls, great song. Die in the Night, probably my favorite Exciter song ever. Just love the little build-up at the beginning of the song, then it transitions into that amazing, iconic riff. And something a lot of bands do, like they'll have an awesome riff like that, and they won't really go to it too much. Like they'll do it for a minute, and then they'll kind of transition, do some other shit in the song. But they like come back to this riff a lot of times throughout the song. Love hearing it. It's just super cool. And some other good ones on this one would probably be Live Fast, Die Young. I could list all the songs, but those are a couple of my favorites for sure. And number 1, Long Live the Loud from 1985. Just a masterpiece album. It's their third one. As I said, it's the last with John Ricci for a couple of years, but I think this is just a fantastic album. I Am the Beast, along with, as I said, Die in the Night. Those are my 2 favorite Exciter songs, I think. Just an amazing song, very fast, just killer stuff. The title track's great. Wake Up Screaming has some of the best, highest, most awesome Dan Beehler screams he ever did. And Born to Die, another one of my favorites from that album. But overall, just sick discography here. A lot of good albums, tough to rank. This is actually my first discography ranking I've done in a long time. I just have been on an Exciter kick over the last couple of months. So I thought I would get into ranking their albums, and the kick came from driving through Canada to Alaska. So we were listening to a lot of Exciter on the way through Canada. Put us in, I had to get the atmosphere, some good music for the atmosphere of Canada, and Exciter is the band you want for that, obviously. But yeah, let me know what y'all thought about my ranking. Give me your ranking in the comments, and until next time, thank y'all for watching.